What's up, beautiful people? Welcome to Fuzzo Productions. I am your host, Miss Fuzzo, in the building, baby. For all of you guys who are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. Please feel free to subscribe because we're gonna have so much more amazing content for this channel. Be prepared. I've been on hiatus, and baby, I'm back. I'm back and I'm better. Back and I'm better. I'm back and I'm better. So let's get into today's video. Let's go.
I know you have questions, I don't have answers, clearly no manners, baby. I know you want it better.
Okay, so where do I start? I'm gonna start from the beginning, and the way I'm gonna structure this video is basically how I survived first year and some of the tips I feel like would be really good if you're in first year. We're gonna rewind and start from the beginning. So I am currently going into my 5th year at Trent University in Ontario, Canada. And so I'm going into my 5th year. I'm currently studying business administration with a specialization in entrepreneurship and another specialization in marketing and consumer culture. So I can create a video separately about why I chose that specific major, but actually when I first applied to Trent University, I was coming in as an arts and science major. My application process was done through an agency. I don't quite remember the name. From Zimbabwe, so I'm an international student, but basically he was the person who recommended Trent University to my parents. We looked at a bunch of the universities there and kind of the things that I wanted to study. I wasn't 100% sure if I wanted to do law and politics or if I wanted to go and do medicine. I just knew I was really good at arts and I was really good at science. And so he recommended that I do a degree that kind of gives me the flexibility to choose later on. So yeah, basically we applied for the university. Within a couple of months I got a conditional offer, and basically it said that if I got the actual grades that I was predicted, I would be given the place. So that was maybe I want to say like summer of my year 12 going into year 13. So for a bit of background information as well, I did my 6th form, so that's year 12 and 13, or if you're from Zimbabwe, that's like lower 6 and upper 6. I did that in the UK. And so I applied for schools in the UK as well, and at the back of my mind, I think I always thought like I would still end up going to a school in the UK if the Canada thing didn't work out. So results day comes and I got the results that I needed to get into the school in Canada, and without even thinking about it, I knew I needed to go to Canada. Like, I was so excited about it, and the other options I had for universities were really good, but they weren't giving me the opportunity to try something different, and I wanted to try something different. So I got my results at the beginning of August, I want to say, and I literally had 2 to 3 weeks to pack everything and move to Canada from the UK. Ironically, I actually lived in Peterborough in the UK, Peterborough, Cambridgeshire, and I was moving to Peterborough, Ontario. So that was super exciting. I hopped onto the plane. Like, I'd been traveling back and forth between the UK and Zimbabwe from like 18, so it wasn't really like a shock. I just packed my things and basically hopped onto a plane and arrived in the land of the milk and the honey. I don't know why I'm like this. And yeah, so I got here, and the first mistake I made, which I hope you don't have to go through because I kicked myself. I was so scared. The first mistake I made was I had a flight that was taking me from Heathrow to some place in Canada, and then from that place to Toronto, Pearson. And basically I went and I asked the people, and I was like, is my luggage going to be transferred? And they basically said, yeah, it's going to be transferred, don't worry about it, you don't have to do anything physically. I was like, bet. And then I got to Toronto and I went to London as the place, like the carry baggage claim. I went to London, but I didn't realize there was a London, Ontario. So the belt goes, and maybe like 30-40 minutes later there are no more bags, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, so where's my luggage? So I went to the lady at the customer service desk. I was like, hey, I've been standing at London, here is my boarding pass, I don't know where my luggage is. And she's like, sis, this is the domestic area, you're looking at London, Ontario. What you need to go to is the international section and go to your specific flight number. So I went there, I got one of my bags, and I think like one of my like other little like carry-on situations, and they just couldn't find the rest of my bags. So I went back to customer service.
I was like, listen, I can't find my bags and I need to find my bags. And she was like,
okay, so
this is the thing, right? We didn't actually load your bags, so they're still in XYZ Katundu somewhere in the ghettos.
And I'm like,
listen, I asked you guys when I was there whether I needed to pick up my bags and transfer them. I was told I didn't have to. So where are my bags?
Now bear in mind, I booked a specific time when I was supposed to be on the bus, the Trent bus that was going to take us to TIP camp, which is Trent International Program or something, and it was a camp for the international students that basically happened before orientation for the rest of the university. So I'm looking at the time and I'm like, listen, these people are gonna leave me, and now the bag that I have is the bag with shoes, and the other carry-on bag that I have has maybe 2 days of clothing, because I've always traveled, so I know that in case your luggage gets lost, which has never happened before until that day, you always carry spare clothing, underwear, toiletries, just in case of emergencies. So they were like, okay, so we're gonna try and find out what we can do about your luggage. In the meantime, go ahead, go inside, find your university and explain and let them know what's happening in it. So I get out of there, I'm basically like at the verge of tears, and I tried to call my mom, and like I text my mom, I couldn't call her, I don't know what was going on with my phone, my battery was dying. So I called my mom, and I text my mom, I'm like, Mom, I'm in Toronto, but I've lost my luggage, I'll keep you posted on what happens. And I'm like basically just like tears, but I'm trying to be a real G, because I'm about to meet the people from my university and all my new classmates, and I'm trying to make a positive like a first impression, but at the same time I'm panicking because like all my life is in that bag. And it's not even like we're going straight to the university, we're going to a campsite first. And I was just like, I don't have a Canadian number, so if I lose my luggage, what happens? Like residents aren't open right now, so are you sending it to the campsite? How long is that going to take? We're only at the campsite for 3 days. I was so stressed out about everything. But I think it was Issy. Yes, Issy, shout out to you. I met him like halfway, and I was like, hey, is this Trent University? He's like, yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I go to Trent. I'm Ropa. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna go check out the roster. He looked at the roster. He's like, yeah, you're supposed to be on the bus that's leaving in 30 minutes. I was like, okay, so this is the thing, right? I think I lost my luggage, and so I need to go find it. The lady just said I should let you know what's happening. And he's like, well, if you miss this bus, you're gonna have to take the bus that leaves at 12 midnight. And that meant I was gonna be waiting for maybe another 6, 7, 8 hours, because my flight had landed in the like afternoon lunchtime ish. So he's like, okay, what I'll do is I'll come back to baggage claim with you and see if they allow me to come in, and if they do, then what I'm gonna do is I'll wait with you and we'll wait for your bags. Guys, Issy waited with me from maybe around 3 p.m. to 10 when my bags eventually arrived. And the mistake that I made is that my phone wasn't on the charger, so I couldn't even tell my parents that, like, guys, I found my bags, everything is okay, I've gone to camp and all of that. And then when we got to the campsite, I had a charger, but there was no network, and there was, from what I understood, the Wi-Fi was on and off, and we didn't even have access to it. So I completely just didn't contact them at all, and that was a whole situation because my parents, my grandma cried, you guys. Ish, don't do that to your parents. Listen, if you lose something, just deal with it and then tell them the story after, if possible, because what I did was just stress my poor family to death that my child has now lost their luggage. I can't even get in contact with them for 3 days. So that was the first couple of hours and the first day of first year. We went to tip camp. I met a lot of people. I got to socialize. It was so much fun, and I left feeling like, yes, I'm ready to kill this university thing. And then we got onto our buses again and went to residence. So we got to residence. Because we'd planned ahead of time, we actually all got our keys before we arrived at the place. So I got people to help me take my bags upstairs. I was living in a single room in Lady Eaton College. Shout out to my LEC gang. I was living in the South building, and I was part of the creative expressions section. So basically each section is divided into different themes, and mine was the creative expression section, and our Don was Don Gigi. And basically that was like the first week. So first week of uni was lit. Our orientation week was like a dream, guys. I was living my best life. Okay, I did everything you can do in orientation week. I remember we would literally wake up like maybe around 7, because we were all sort of jet lagged as well. At least we'd had tip camp where we kind of had time to adjust to everything, but for the most part, like, I think we were all really tired. But we would wake up super early. At the time it felt early. We'd wake up at like 9 and we'd quickly rush and have breakfast, and there were you had to sing like war cries and stuff, and would go to like other colleges and basically like intimidate them and stuff like that. It was so much fun. Tip camp was lit because we got to do all these activities, and you got to meet all these international students and basically make friends who were international students. And in that year, I think I was the only Zimbabwean. Your girl had a lit time first week of university. I mean, guys, trust me, it was habituation. So that was first week. And the one thing I was advised to do was to go and see an academic advisor in the first week of university, so they would help you register with classes and so that they can figure things out. For me, I especially needed to see an academic advisor because I actually found out at that point that I wasn't technically accepted into the university yet, and somehow, some way, the international student advisor at the time just figured something out for me, and I ended up getting accepted, and I ended up having to send my results later on, which was such a blessing in disguise because I was like already there, and I felt like I was just scared that I would be there and they'd be like, you don't have a position anymore, you don't have like a place at the university anymore. But because I'd already paid for accommodation and all that other stuff, I'd paid for tuition in full, they were like, listen, you're here, it's fine, whatever, you can send us your grades whenever you can. Because I don't know why in my head I thought the grades would automatically be sent in the same way that they were with UCAS. I mean, retrospectively, I think I should have planned ahead, but at the time I was just so excited to be moving that I didn't even like clock. So anyway, so I ended up seeing an academic advisor, and yeah, They helped me register for all my classes. They helped me plan out my degree for the 4 years, just so that I knew what classes I wanted to take, and I thought about that going in. And so like I said, in my first semester, in my first year, I was arts and science was my major, and I took 2 psychology classes, 2 sociology classes, 2 statistics classes, 2 philosophy classes, and my 2 arts and science prerequisites. The tip I would give is, if you can, take as many variations as you can. What I wish I would have done is taken like an indigenous course, and taken like a literature course, taken a media studies course, an environmental science course, and maybe like, I don't know, like something random like a forensics course. I feel like it would have just given me more ideas of where I wanted to go with my degree. But I decided I wanted to be smart, because I had taken psychology in high school. I just thought it would be an easy grade. I hadn't taken sociology, but my cousin had taken sociology and she really liked it, and whenever she would study and use me as her like dummy person, I really enjoyed it. So I thought I'll take psychology and sociology. I really liked statistics. I'm one of those weirdos, but I really liked math, and in my brain I was like, this is an easy A, so I'll be fine. Philosophy I had taken in high school as well. I'd got a decent grade, so I was like, this will be an easy class to do. And then the arts and science prerequisite was a prerequisite, so I had to take it. So at the end of, in terms of academics, I'll start with academics. My first year, I did pretty well. I think I left with maybe a B average was what I got in first year. I wasn't on the dean's list or anything like that, but I was in good academic standing. I'll do a video that's specifically tailored to my grades from first year all the way up to 5th year or 4th year or whatever, and kind of break it down, because a lot happened. A lot. I was in good academic standing, then I was on probation, then my grades were wiped out, and that's a whole nother story for another day. I don't want it to be too long, and it already is. We're like in, anyways. So yeah, academically I was doing pretty well. I think the tip that I would give is work hard and play hard. A lot of people say first year doesn't count, but the one thing that's helped me now is that my first year grades were so good, they kind of even out when I don't do well in my upper year classes. And also when I didn't do very well in my second year classes and I was appealing, they could see that in my first year I'd done really well, and so they knew that I still had the potential to do amazing, right? So that was my first year. My grades were really good. Like I said, I was doing things I really liked, I was doing things I was familiar with, but I also had a really good balance of working hard and playing hard. So that would be my tip: work hard and play hard. Have a good balance. It's not everyday books, but the reason why you're in university is to get a degree, so please remember that. That's what you're paying for. So have fun, but at the end of the day, your degree matters. And I think for Trent, you're allowed to have like a C. A 60 is a pass, but you can only have a certain amount of D's, which is 50. It will still be a credit towards your university degree, but I think you can only have a certain number, at least for business and for psychology. That's the way it was set up. But you can look at your academic calendar for more information about that. So that's academics. In terms of social life, guys, let me tell you something. Yeah, first year I was living my best life, but I had a lot of fun, guys. Literally Thursday, Friday, so I had class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday afternoon, and so Thursday we would go out, Friday we would go out, Saturday we would go out, Sunday we had church, Monday you'd come back and be doing homework and studying for classes for Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. And I remember in first year specifically, we had, I think it was Urban Thursday. No, it wasn't Urban Thursdays. It was I'll remember what it was and I'll put it somewhere on the screen. But it was like a DJ that played African music, And if you went, you could choose the songs that you liked, and you could meet other African people. Talking about African people, in first year, in my first week, I actually got to meet a couple of girls who were doing the Trent African Caribbean Students Association. I got to talking to them on the bus, and they were like, hey, you should apply to be a first year rep. I was like, bet, networking, let's do it, baby. And so I went for the interview with one of my friends, Lauren. We ended up being the two people who were chosen to be the first year reps. Honestly, that was the most amazing experience I ever had, ever. And I'm so grateful for being a part of that organization, because literally, like, even when it came to jobs, I used them as references for jobs. When it came to volunteering, I used them again as references that I was volunteering. I still have them on my resume, and it was just such an eye-opener. I remember when it came to textbooks, I had people from TAXU who were giving me textbooks that they had. If I needed help with homework, I knew people who were in my degree, who were second year and third year and fourth year, who could help me with homework. Like, literally anything I needed, groceries, if I needed food from home to be cooked, like, I always had somebody who was there to support me. I remember I had people coming into my room, and we would just chill and we'd just talk stories, and they would tell me what's going on in the university. Like, and I felt really like I was at home, because I was with people like who understood me and my struggle as an international student. And so another tip I would give is, if you can, connect with a group on campus and be their first year rep. So for me, it was the African Caribbean Students Association, but for you, it could be the Forensic Society or the Psychology Department Society. It could be, you know, the tennis. I was part of the tennis club as well. You know, man was trying to keep fit or whatever, you know what I'm saying. I'll be posting all these pictures as I kind of explain all these things. But yeah, just join a society that basically helps you meet more people and interact with more people, and kind of just gives you more people to know, so that you don't feel so alone. So that's the other tip I would give in terms of just socializing. If anything, like in my first year, I knew a person on every street from downtown all the way up till my university, and it's a good like 30-minute bus ride like from downtown to my university. But I knew somebody on every single street, and I knew that even if worst case scenario had happened and like I needed somewhere to go crash, I knew somebody I could go to and crash there. So I would highly encourage you to make sure that, you know, you join a society, be a first year rep, and just try something different. It's a good opportunity for you to meet new people and learn life about university and all that fun stuff. So that was social life. Also, please guys, make sure that you are behaving responsibly. I remember a lot of people in first year were passing out on driveways, on the bus, or on like just everywhere. And a lot of the times, especially the first week of university, the people who are there don't know you. They're not your friends from home. They're not your family. Like, they don't know you. So please be responsible. Like, you can't come and kill yourself. Like, something can happen to you. I know that every year during all week, I always have to take somebody home with me because they've passed out downtown, and their friend has left them there, and they don't know where they're going, they don't know what house they belong to, and now I have to come bring you into my house so you can crash on my couch. You're a full stranger, and then in the morning you're waking up and you're like, where am I? And I'm like, my sister, why were you drinking? Like, know your limits, okay? Like, especially here in Canada where they've legalized marijuana usage for the most part. Please guys, just be safe. Safety. I don't think there's anything wrong with you trying to dabble in a couple of things here and there, but please just make sure you're being safe about it. Do it. Be smasheroonied with people who you know, who you trust. Even then, smasheroonied is not the way to go. You don't want to be reckless out there in the streets. please guys, just be safe. You're better off being safe than sorry, okay? Please, have you heard me? Okay, please be safe, be responsible. With saying that as well, consent is very important. There's a lot of assault that goes on, especially in first week of university. Please make sure that you're consenting to everything that you're doing. Make sure that nobody is putting you under pressure to do anything that you don't want to do. There's no pressure to do anything. If you don't want to drink, it's not by force. If you don't want to smoke, it's not by force. If you don't want to have sex, it's not by force. You don't have to do anything that you don't want to do. If your friends are pressuring you into doing it, stop being friends with them. There are a lot of people on university campuses, off campus, you name it, who will find you where you are and accept you for what you like, okay? I myself, I'm not a big drinker, smoking person. I'm not really about that life, but I know people who are, and the people I hang out with might be about that life. But we understand each other and we respect each other's beliefs, we respect each other's ideologies, and you need to find people who respect that. You don't need to feel under pressure to drink. You don't have to feel under pressure to smoke. You don't need to feel under pressure to off pant. It's not by force. Okay, if you're gonna do it responsibly and do it because you want to do it. So that's a big thing in terms of social life that I would definitely put out there as a disclaimer. So that's education, first week, and social life. The next thing I would talk about is making sure that there's balance in your life. The one thing I really appreciated about first year is that I had a really good balance. That's something I'm gonna talk about more in my second year experience. But what I mean by balance is that make sure that your academic life is a priority, but it's not consuming your whole life. Okay, I know a lot of people who in first year academics was all they did. It was just night, day, afternoon, morning, evening, books. I eat book, I sleep book, I breathe book, everything book. Listen, yeah, that's unhealthy. Even in high school, it's not books every day. You do books and then you stop, you do some sports, you know, to refresh your mind. You know what I'm saying? Do that. You need balance. Balance. You need balance in your life. So make sure you have a timetable. They give out free planners during orientation week. If you're a planner person, use your planner. If you're not really like a physical planner person, have an app on your phone. I use Google Docs, but basically have a certain level of balance in your life. It's really important. Plan out time to have fun, plan out time to go eat with your friends, time to go hang out and just like breathe, time to study. There's a season and a time for everything. Even the Bible says it, you know, there's a time for everything. So make sure you're creating time for everything that is in your life. I think the next thing I would say about my first year experience was with friendships. So I'm just gonna briefly breeze through this one because I can do specific story times and I can actually call up my friends who I've been friends with from first year and we can talk about the evolution of our friendships and all of that fun stuff. So look out for that video. And so friendships, I found that it was really easy for me to make friends because, like I said before, I got really involved super quickly. I was part of the African Student Association, the International Student Association. I was part of a choir. I did the tennis club. I did there was a WUSC, which is the World University Service of Canada, which is supporting student refugees. What else did I do in first year? I felt like there was just so many things that I was doing in terms of extracurriculars that really helped me meet people. Classes, I was participating in class all the time, so I found that you would just meet people in class and they'd be like, oh my gosh, I had the same question, thanks for asking me, and then we'd kind of just bond on that. Study groups, I had a lot of study groups with people that I met through the Trent website, the Trent app. Yeah, basically I got a chance to meet a lot of people. And talking about friendships, And another key thing is I lived on campus for my entirety of my first year, and I want to encourage you that just because you're friends with somebody doesn't mean that they're the best person to be your roommate. I'll make a video that's specific to that, but basically what I'm saying is, like, not everybody who is your friend makes a good roommate. I know a lot of friendships that have gone to the drain, you know, because people were good friends. You can be best friends, but you need to be compatible in the way that you want to live. If you're both dirty and you're okay with that, that's fine. If one of you guys is the clean one and the other one is the dirty one, and you both complement each other in that you don't care if the other one cleans or you don't care if the other one is dirty, then that's cool. You need to have some kind of balance. Some people want to be social and they can't live with somebody who wants to be antisocial, or some people want to be like just chilling at home on their own and, you know, just roaming around their house born naked. That's your house, that's your own. But if you're living with somebody who likes to entertain, that becomes difficult because, you know, I want to be in my house, I want to feel safe in my house. So make sure that you really understand the compatibility that you have with your friends when you are making the decision to move in with each other. Some people can be great friends with you, but they're not necessarily the best people to live with. Trust me, it's not worth risking your friendship over. It's not by force, okay? The last and final tip I would give to you is make sure that you are always consulting your on-campus immigration officer, just to make sure that all your paperwork makes sense, especially because for me, I knew that I wanted to go and start working over the summer, so I needed to make sure that I had my social insurance number, and all of that fun stuff. I needed to make sure that I was actually eligible to work, because I know each visa and study permit has its own stipulations. Just because my friend in Zimbabwe has one doesn't mean I'm allowed to work. It kind of varies from person to person, and so I would highly recommend that you go to your immigration advisor if you have any questions. Also, for Trent University specifically, make sure that you're consulting, if you can, the Trent International office when it comes to academic advising. I've had a lot of students come to me and talk to me about being advised to become part-time students. That will probably affect your immigration status, and so make sure whenever you're getting advice, even from your friends, make sure you just double check everything, either through the website on my Trent, or if you're in first year, Trent is actually making a online Blackboard course that gives you all the information that you need. Check that, and if worst case scenario you still don't know, either double check with your global ambassador. I'm a global ambassador, so if you want to hit me up, you can find me. And or better yet, just go straight to the Trent International office. They will have all the information that you need. If it's to do with immigration specifically, please make sure you're going to the Trent International office. You're better off just checking with them than making a decision and you don't know if it's going to affect whether you can actually stay in the country legally or not. So I would highly recommend, if you have any questions, please hit up the office. They're always so nice. They'll always give you solutions to your problems, and if they can't, they will always refer you to somebody else who can. So I hope and pray that you guys are having an amazing time at the end of the summer and are getting prepared for university. For all of you who are new Trent students who are coming into Trent University, I'm so excited to meet you guys. I'm an orientation week leader, so I'll probably be seeing you around in whatever capacity we'll have as in orientation. If you're interested in knowing where I got this jewelry from, it is from UMHAMBO. It is a clothing and accessory company that specializes in African jewelry and African clothing. I will link all the information down below. They are, full transparency, a company that I own, so if you're interested in buying any of the products, we do ship all around Canada. Please check out the website linked down in the description below. Anyways, thank you so much for watching today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and please stay tuned for part 2, which is my second year university experience. Please subscribe to the channel, like the channel, and most importantly, comment below what your first year experience was, and if you're coming to university, what are some of the things that you are excited about? What are some of the questions that you have? I want to read and I want to know down below. I hope to see you soon. Love you. Bye bye.
Sizi comida, yeah, yeah. Chiquinha, uma cozinha, yeah, yeah.